from various parts of the country, right? And so if you go ahead, check, see the kind of, I was wondering what is it we are going through right now, because when I need to talk about the kind of challenges what we are going through right now, one thing which comes to my mind instantly is one of the very first books what I have read, right? If you check, I'm in the field of training people, empowering people, right? Working with human life, students, teachers, almost for the past 15 years. But one of the earliest books what I've actually read in the field of personal excellence is by an author by name Robert Schuller. Right? Robert Schuller wrote a book by name "Tough Time Never Lasts, but Tough People Do." Right? So what we are going through is actually a tough time. Right? The times are very tough, and these tough times, the concept of the book is this: these tough times will not last. Tough times will never last. But people who are tough, they will definitely live through this situation. That's something what the entire concept of that book is all about. And I'm actually recalling that particular thought, what he has left in my mind over several years. Maybe I read that book for the first time 20 years back. Still, I actually remember that, because as I said, that was one of the very first book I actually read in the area of personal excellence. And and later I was actually thinking, what is it we are going through? Is it a very tough time? I mean, as teachers, I know it's the kind of uncertainty what each and every one of you are going through, because multiple things. One is all of us have the personal side of it, right? Family, then we have things to take care at home, right? I mean, things are not normal. As you wake up, you should get ready to school and go there, and then I'm sure many of you are teachers who are so used to being with children, right? That's the best part of the whole career is what why the teacher life is so wonderful. It is not because of anything else, because of you are the one, the teachers are the one who get this wonderful opportunity to be with the children. And most interestingly, I mean, shaping up the thoughts, all those things are part of it. But I am sure without you liking being with the children, you can't be in this profession. I'm very sure of it. That's when you can be a teacher. And I'm sure a lot of teachers are missing that, right? I mean, emotionally, you feel so wonderful walking into a school, and then walking into the classroom, talking to your children, right? Some of the children wanting to connect with you, wanting to express a lot of things to you, right? And they have some challenges, they have questions, parents come up. I mean, teaching is all about that. So connecting with the children, because whenever as a teacher you connect with the child, you can bring in phenomenal changes in their life. Because I too remember my school days. I cannot forget my school days, because teachers who have created phenomenal impact in my life, right? Whenever I thought certain things were not possible, so teachers are the one who came up to tell me, no, it is actually possible, right? Whatever you think, if it is not possible, it is definitely possible. So whenever I get to address teachers, I actually feel really wonderful. I get that extra energy to actually talk to all of you. So if you go ahead, check. I was talking about the kind of challenges what you as a teacher is going through. Definitely, yes, I agree with you. Like anybody else, there are personal sides to it, right? There is family, children, spouse. Apart from it, so it is a professional life, right? So we are not sure how things are going to pan out, right? When actually we will be welcoming the children back into the school, right? That's going to be a great day, right? When possibly the children can safely walk into the school is a great day. That may be a little far to think of, but that day is we all are looking forward. So when we're looking at what is the emotion which we as human beings going through, more than tough situations are being handled by, I will say right now, 10% of the human beings, right? Predominantly the health workers, right? I mean, they are in the forefront fighting for us. Then you go ahead, check. I mean, all the health working community, the doctors, the nurses, right? I mean, various people, and then the police force. I mean, we see how tough it is for them every day to ensure things were kept under control, right? And apart from it, the sanitation workers, they are up to clean up the city, clean up the roads, ensure things are clean. So these are all the people who are actually going through tough life, right? Reminding of the people, almost 90 percentage of us are actually staying at home, right? Because right now that is the biggest favor what we can do to the country, right? It's being staying at home, just to stay aloof from the rest of the world is what is the best thing you can do it for yourself, for your family, and for the country. So that's what you are expected to do. You are expected to stay at home. So why I am telling is we are not going through tough situation. What we are going through is more than toughness. It is more of uncertainty. It is an intense uncertainty is what we are going through. We have never experienced this kind of uncertainty in our life. Not only your life, you go and check with your parents. They have not gone through something like this. Or some of you, if you can go and reach to your grandparents, ask them, have you experienced something like this in your life? Because they are going to say no. Because I'm sure people at 90s, 90 plus, they have not seen it. If you go back to history, because history repeats, right? And events in life is a cycle. So if you check, there are events which happens once in a day. There are events which happens once in a week. There are events which happens once in a month. There are events which happens once in a year. There are events which happens once in a decade, like 10 years once it happens. Similar to that, there are events which happens once in a century. So if we go ahead check, what we are experiencing is once in a century event. This happens, and really it happened in 1999. If you go back to history and check it, what we have actually gone through is a Spanish flu, right? Which is very close, very similar to what we are going through 1919, and almost 100 years later, we are going through something very similar, right? Why I am telling you this? Because this gives us the hope of whether will this pass? Will we cross this? The answer is yes, right? We will pass through this. This too will also pass. In the past, whether the humankind has experienced this, definitely yes. In the future, are we going to experience something like this? Definitely yes. So this too shall pass. So with this, what is the message across? The message across is this. This is one of the biggest events which mankind is experiencing. An event of uncertainty. If you check in a scale of 1 to 100, if you need to give a mark for uncertainty right now, right? I know I should talk, I'm talking to teachers, right? If you're giving a mark for this, if I ask you to give a mark for this, I know some of you may even give 100 out of 100 for this, right? Or even like 90 plus marks of uncertainty, right? That is the size of uncertainty we are going through. And uncertainty, is it very difficult to handle? We hate uncertainty, yes or no? Not exactly. If you take human beings, they like certainty. Many a times we love certainty because you know what is going to happen tomorrow. It's good, right? I mean, you can plan your days, right? You can plan your life. You can set your goals. It's all planning. But check this. Too much certainty creates a lot of boredom in life, right? I mean, you feel bored because next 1 year it's going to be exactly the same. Then you feel bored about life. So if you go ahead and check, this will not mean you like a lot of uncertainty. Assume you're not even sure what is going to happen tomorrow. You don't like it. That's what we are going through right now. Human mind likes a mix of certainty and uncertainty. We like variety, right? We like mix of things which are variety. We like things that are monotonous, right? It's a mix of things. Right now, what's happening is we don't have any certainty at all. What we are left with is only uncertainty. So the life becomes a complete mess. Life becomes, if I ask you what is going to happen 1 month from now, nobody is aware, right? It's not only you and me, even the rulers of the country are not aware what is going to happen 1 month from now, what is going to happen 1 week from now, and most interestingly, what is going to happen tomorrow, nobody knows. That is the uncertainty what we are going through. So in the situation of uncertainty, what we can possibly do, can you control this event? Can you change this event? It's not just me, it's not just you. It is happening all across the globe. The Prime Minister of UK was in hospital for some time, right? I mean, if it can happen to a person of that profile, right? So what I want you to understand is this: it is not to create a scare, it is to make you understand this is an event which is happening in human life, which you can't change. Because I can pull out a prayer right now, which goes like this: God, give me the serenity to change, or give me the serenity to accept the things which I cannot change. And give me the courage, give me the power to change those things which I can change. Right? I will repeat this, right? See, you give me the whatever serenity to accept things which I can't change. There are certain things I can't change. என்னால சில விஷயங்களை மாத்த முடியாது. அந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்களை allow me to accept it. Number two is this: give me the courage. Give me the courage to change those things which I can change. என்னால மாற்ற முடியுங்கிற விஷயங்களை to change, give me that courage, give me that strength. And the third thing is this: give me the wisdom to differentiate things which I can change and things which I can't change. So at this point of time, this is something very, very important. Certain events which happens in human life, you can't change. So what is the best thing? You must have to accept it. You have to look at it. And when you look at it, still whether you have a choice. Yes, you have a choice. What is the choice you have? You have a choice to choose your outcome. Because understand this, I'll teach you one interesting formula, all teachers, right? So if you go ahead, check, see, there is an event. Here you see there is a formula which is there on the screen. There is an event. Event means this is an event. What we are going through right now is an event. Event is equal to outcome. O stands for outcome. Event is not outcome. Oh, whatever event, because outcome is what? This event can create a lot of panic in you. This event can create a lot of uncertainty in you. This event can create a lot of confusion in somebody's mind. So these are all the outcomes possible. But the choice is ours. We don't have to accept the same choice what the event is supposed to create. Instead, you have a different choice. The choice is what? You have a choice to react. Or is the response. R stands for response. Instead of accepting as E is equal to O, you need to go ahead and say E is equal to O. Event is not the outcome. Instead, event is plus the response, because I have the power to choose the response. I can choose how I want to react to this situation. And that is what is outcome. So what are all the response choices you have? Again, as I said, it is a choice what you make. The choice number one is this: you can get into intense panic. You can get into confusion, right? That is possible. You can feel intensely uncertain. So when you feel all these things, what happens? What happens is this: you are not in control of what's happening. You are like very scared of future. So whenever we are very scared of future, there is a lot of fear. When you have a lot of fear, we make wrong decisions. We don't travel in the right path forward. And most interestingly, why I am telling this, because the teachers are the one who has the big capability, power to influence a lot of minds. So if you have the certain emotions which are not useful, be it panic, be it uncertainty, be it confusion, we may transfer the same thing to the children, right? Which is not very useful, because in the world from where I come from, I'm a certified NLP practitioner, neuro linguistic programming, right? One of the things what we believe, or what we have been taught, is this: children 0 to 7, right, age group, are the one where the beliefs are formed. Beliefs means their thought process are formed during that time. Whatever they think is true for their lifetime. That's what they believe. That's what they think, right? 0 to 7. And if you take children who are in 8 to 14, that is a socializing age. Socializing means they want to connect with their friends. They want to have more friends. That's actually typically that age, right? So today, if you go ahead, check, these kids are also going through a lot of uncertainty. They go through a lot of fear. They see a lot of things on the television. They hear a lot of things from their own friends, from their parents. So they're completely confused on what's going to happen tomorrow, right? So as teachers, you have this huge responsibility to choose the right choice of your emotion. Choice number one, as I said, it is intense panic, which it is not very useful. Am I right, teachers? And choice number two is this. Choice number two is where you are completely indifferent. Indifferent means what? Oh, it is happening somewhere else. Whenever things are okay, that time I will get out of my house and see what's happening. Why? Because that's what we thought when we first saw something happening in China on the television. We thought it's far off. It is in some other continent, some corner of the world. It's not for us. Then we started seeing in some other country. Then we were like, what's happening? Right? Then we saw even more closer. We saw in some parts of India, right? Then we thought, oh, it's happening in India, right? It's not just that. Then it started happening in the same place where we were living, whichever part you are in, you started seeing that happening. And today you step out of the house, you can't believe people are wearing masks and then going around, and it's completely different. So you can't be totally indifferent, right? Indifferent is complete. The other way is okay, it's happening, so what? Why? Because if you're completely indifferent, you may miss out the wonderful emotion of thankfulness. Is thankfulness very, very important? Feeling thankful, is it very important? Very, very important. Why? Feeling thankfulness is a very important emotion, because once you feel thankful, you keep away your panic. The truth is, panic and thankfulness cannot exist together. If you feel thankful, you will push away panic. And thankful for what? Thankful for many things. There are 10% of the mankind who are fighting out for you, who are stepping out, who are putting their life in line and fighting for you to make your life better, to keep your family safe. They are actually no better than no smaller than the soldiers who are in the borderlines, or even certain times better, because the kind of risk what they are taking of their own life is phenomenal, and kind of sacrifices some of them doing is unbelievable, because they can't even meet their own family for days together. And then we need to feel thankful for them. We need to feel thankful to our body, right? I mean, whatever kind of things which we are going through right now, still we get all the support from our body to go through all these challenges, right? Because as you wake up in the morning, once every part of your body works fine, you must have to feel thankful for it, right? And apart from it, the third choice what you have is actually this. The third choice, third response, what you can possibly have is give the right meaning to this. What is the right meaning? What kind of meaning you can give? What are all the meaningful, um, say, maybe meanings what I can possibly give for this particular happening? Is this an, a lifetime opportunity to do something because you have like a lot of time in your hand? Is this a great opportunity to think for yourself? Because one of the toughest tasks of human life is thinking. Because think of your day-to-day life, how it goes. You wake up in the morning and then you have to finish a lot of your work at home, right? And then you get up, you move on to your school, right? All these sort of things. You must have to ensure it's a grind, right? You go through your life in a specific way. Uh, so this is an opportunity for you to rethink your life. This is an opportunity for you to reflect your own life, right? How to redefine, how to make my life better. Because one of the toughest tasks of human life, you know, one thing is actually thinking. You can do things, but thinking is not that easy. Everybody cannot do that job. So it is an opportunity for you to sit and think what way I can become better in my profession, what way I can become better in whatever kind of job I do, what way I can redefine my life, what way I can actually redefine my functions, what way I can redefine with respect to my family relationship, right? All those things is possible at this point of time. Because I will always say the time to think is the most productive time of human life. So this is a time for you to relook your life. This is a time for you to redo your life. Maybe some of you can go ahead, set your goals. Some of you can go ahead, rethink how I want to define the rest of my life, right? Whatever age you are in, it's crossed, you have reached a particular level. So you need to understand, you need to believe that past is not equal to future. Past is always the past, and then you can redefine your future, right? And at this point of time, because I'm talking to teachers, right? You can relook your beliefs. Beliefs are this. Beliefs are something which is staying with you for a very long time. I'll tell you a short story, right? It's a story of an elephant. So I will ask you this question: how they control the elephant? That too, when the elephant is very small. You know, when the elephant is very small, when they want to control the elephant, they tie one of the legs of the elephant, and the other end of the chain, right, is tied on to a tree or a pillar or a post, whatever it is. And will the elephant will stand in one place? Not exactly. It will do everything wanting to break it and move away. But whether the elephant can actually do it, the elephant cannot. Right? The elephant will not be able to do it because it's too tiny. Right? It's small. It's just a small animal. Right? So you can't break it. But over a period of time, what happens? The elephant becomes bigger and bigger, and the chain becomes thinner and thinner because it goes through a lot of wear and tear, and it's not as strong as what it was before. So at some point of time, will the elephant will have the capability to break the chain and move away? Definitely yes. The elephant will have the capability to break the chain and move away. But will the elephant will do it?
No.
Not exactly. Why?
Exactly.
Because the
Because
elephant thinks I'm actually tied up. Because whenever it wants to move, and then the moment it realizes there is a chain, it comes back to the same place. And what way this is relevant in human life? What way this is true in human life? In human life, these are all the chains, what we call it as the beliefs which stops a person. So similar to that, each and every one of us have certain limiting beliefs. So why I'm talking about limiting beliefs at this point of time is this. So this is a time to relook our beliefs, the kind of beliefs what I had, right? Is this something very meaningful? Is it useful? Else, I need to go ahead and redefine them. Else, I need to go ahead and relook at them. Else, I need to go ahead and rephrase them, right? Because I'm talking to teachers. I will just tell you a true research which was done in one of the schools. Okay, this research was done by a scientist by name Robert Merton, right? What he did was this. It was in a school, okay? And say the school has identified set of students who are like uh, completely uh, were not able to learn, right? Or also very arrogant. They were not listening to classes properly. Literally, what has happened was this school has decided to send them out of the school, right? That's the kind of students they were. And Robert Merton wanted to do a study, right? So what he did was this: he picked up a teacher who's supposed to be an extremely good teacher, right? I mean, the teacher is known for flexibility because, as you know, very much teachers are the best teachers are the one who are very flexible teachers, right? Because I'm sure, I mean, you are masters in that. You know better than me, right? When it comes to handling students, right? Say younger children, how you need to handle once the teenage children, how you need to handle. You will have certain strategies to talk to 11th and 12th students, right? Then you should be the masters in them. So what he wanted to do was this. What I mean by flexibility, right? So what he wanted to do was this. He wanted to actually do a study where he picked up one of the best teachers, right, and told the teacher, you are going to go and meet set of students,
Okay.
right, who are actually the best set of students, right? This is something what the teacher has been told. But in reality, the truth is what? They are actually the worst set of students in the entire school. So the teacher entered the class. What happened? The teacher saw certain behaviors which are completely unuseful, completely unruly, right? And the teacher was very upset the day one, right? And came back. But what the teacher has been told these students are very good, right? So the teacher decided, let me go back to change something in myself, right? I will communicate to them in a different way, better way, right? So the teacher went back. So the teacher did a lot of modification in the way he or she wanted to actually teach the children. So next day she went back to the class, and again she saw very unuseful behaviors, and then this cycle was continuing. But the teacher was he was keep on changing the strategies, right? Keep altering the methodologies in which the teacher was communicating to the students. And at some point of time, what happened? Because the study was done approximately for about 6 months. So, end of 6 months, what happened? The teacher was able to create really gifted students, right? And what is the difference? Where was the difference? The difference was in the teacher's mind, right? And how Robert Merton concluded this particular study was actually this. So he actually told, so this was called as a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Or Pygmalion effect. Pygmalion effect is this: once expectation is set, we tend to act in ways that are consistent with expectation. Once you have a specific expectation, you tend to act in the same way as your expectation, right? So how we concluded, because this was a study done very specific to teacher and a student, though it also proves right between a couple, husband and a wife, or wife and a husband. It is true between a boss and a subordinate. So this particular study was between a student and a teacher, right? So what he told was this, right? He actually told teachers forms expectations about students, right? You have certain expectations about each and every student, right? And based on these, the teachers act in a differential manner, right? And then third, if the treatment is consistent, it will tend to shape students' behavior and achievements, right? So one of the very important message with which I would like to leave the teachers is, so as I said, it is a time for you to relook some of the beliefs what you may possibly have, right? So how to actually relook some of my beliefs, how to actually alter some of my beliefs, how to actually get through certain beliefs which were not useful for me, right? How to improve in certain areas. So these are all the possible reflections you can have as we move on, because I'm telling the choices what I have, how you actually react. Remember, E plus R is equal to O. You have the power to choose the response what you have, right? Because you have the capability, you have the power to choose the response what you have. And why I am telling you need to reflect, why you need to remain positive at this point of time is remaining positive something very important, very, very important. Why? It's a medically proven fact. If your positivity is low, if you think negative, your immunity is lower. Because few days back I had a psychologist in one of my sessions, right? I was asking her this question, doctor, right? Is it a medical fact, right? And she said, yeah. I mean, we from the world of NLP, we used to call it as placebo, right? Placebo means this: your thought of mind controls your body, right? I mean, even your immune system. And I was asking her medically, is that a fact? And she said, yeah, it's a medical fact, proven fact. So similar to that, once your positivity is high, your immune systems work really well. And why your immune systems has to really work well? Why? Because right now we don't have any vaccines. We don't have any vaccinations. Only way to keep ourselves healthy, hale and healthy, to our family hale and healthy, is to have lot of positivity in you. The moment you remain positive, the outcome is your immunity levels are far, far higher. When your immunity levels are higher, you are away from all the challenges, whatever we are going through right now. That's exactly is the truth. So that is something what you must have to remember. Stay positive, stay healthy. And it's not only that, I mean, good number of teachers always ask me uh, how the future is going to be, right, when it comes to education, because I also come from the education background. We coach a lot of school owners, right? I mean, how schools are going to pan out, right? How we are going to look forward for this academic year. In fact, students of 10th standard, 12th standard, I mean, luckily CBSE school 10th standard students have completed their exams. But if you take 12th standard students or state board students have not even completed their exams of last year, right? And interestingly, certain classes or many classes have not even taken their exams, which we thought is one of the biggest step in education, and then moved on to the next class. All these things we are seeing in front of our eyes, right? So which is creating a lot of new learnings for ourselves, right? And how the education space is going to pan out, right? Definitely, I agree. This year, we are going to have a lot of uncertainty, but best learnings emerge out of uncertainty. Because we always used to say, one of the belief systems, what we used to say is confusion, good, there is something to learn, right? It's good things you can learn, right? So if whenever you are confused, always remember, good, you are learning something new, right? I mean, if you're not getting confused, which means you are just doing the same thing again and again. So confusion means good, I'm learning something new. So teachers, remember always this wonderful thought, because this has again been taught in my NLP classes, right? Whenever you are getting confused, your mind is learning something new. So confusion is not bad. So I was confused for the first time, right? So confusion is not bad, right? Yeah, that's what I have been taught. Why? Because whenever you are getting confused, not only in your subjects, right? Whenever students get confused, we always say this: confusion good. You are learning something new because you keep learning the same thing again and again. You will never get confused. So this academic year, as we see certain confusions, good. It is a lot of things to learn. Um, so as teachers, we will wrap up this session shortly. So meantime, I will also request you to share your questions, whatever you have, in the chat window, right? That will help me to address the questions. And I also have Mr. Lakshmi Narayanan, who is with us, who is also co-hosting this session from Only Success. He's a director of Only Success. So he will take up the questions. He will actually look forward for your questions. So if you have questions, please post it. So what I was sharing was how this education space is going to alter, change in this year. Are there going to be changes? Definitely yes. Be ready for it. I'm sure you know how to handle, say, completing syllabus on time. All those things you handled several times in the past. You know how to handle those challenges. That's not going to be new, right? The new thing is going to be usage of or stepping into the digital world, right? So that is something going to be completely new for a lot of teachers, right? Because I'm coming across that as one of the biggest learning aspect for a lot of teachers. Uh, so as a teacher, I'm sure you are very much open for new learning, but this is a great opportunity. I will say, like, we are advanced. We have a fast forward uh, thing. We click the fast forward button by about 5 years at least, right? What is supposed to happen 5 years later in the field of education, that is predominantly online learning, being way of life, is happening right now. What is supposed to happen in 2025 is happening right now. So obviously, you need to see it as an opportunity. As teachers, you need to see it as an opportunity. It is going to be as straight as a child's play, getting on to a platform, talking to our students. I'm not telling, say it's something very difficult, but as teachers, you need to become very comfortable with that. So you need to get on, you need to talk to our students online. Though I can understand it is not as connecting as uh, what you do in your classroom, because you can go talk to them, you can meet up with them, you can understand every child individually. But over a period of time, I'm sure you will also find ways cracking all those challenges online. Uh, so there is going to be a big change as we look forward in the teaching space, right? So as teachers, you have come across, you have crossed many challenges, you have reached many heights. So this is another level which you will be crossing. So that is something what I have to share for the day. Um, so I will take up specific questions if you have, if you can share with me any questions. And are there any specific questions I can?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, teachers. Lakshmi Narayanan here. Would you like to, instead of asking question, if you can post it, it will be good. Okay. Somebody wanted to ask question. Yeah, please go ahead. Or if you can
Yeah,
post
you
it
can
on the
also come
chat
online and
window.
ask questions. That will also be good, because it's
Yeah.
anyway a closed community. Yeah.
ஸ்கிரீன்ல காமிக்குது.
Yeah.
Sir, this
Whoever
is
wanted to ask
Malati.
question alone, they can alone. Yeah, ma'am. Malati, ma'am. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Sir, actually, this situation is really panic for us. But only thing we can share all the things to the student. Everyone not having system and other things, right? Mobile. This for that particular student, whatever we are sharing online, whatever we are giving work through this, how it will be reached to that student also, if they are not really having the system to attend all kind of work related to school. So what we can do for the next step to reach that student also. Hope you got my point.
Yeah.
For example, every day we are keep on getting calls from the student, ma'am, still we are not getting your notes because we don't have laptop. And even
Okay,
if we want to share the, yeah.
yeah, understood the question, ma'am. So just
இப்போ நீங்க அன்மியூட்ல இப்போ நான் கேட்கலாமா?
Ma'am, request all of them to put the mute until, I mean, the person who's wanted to ask the question alone unmute, request others to put it on mute. Yeah. Yeah, Vidya, sorry.
no. The question was
இல்ல இப்போ அன்மியூட் பண்ணும்.
Malati, right? Ma'am, say what I understand was the question was say whether all the students will have the access to the internet to have access to the question, right? Is
Yeah,
the,
no, not at all, because few student doesn't have.
correct? No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, as I was telling, whatever we are going through right now, it is one unprecedented and number two
இப்போ மியூட்
unexpected, right?
மியூட் பண்ணிட்டேன். மியூட் பண்ண இப்போ என்ன
So we were actually not at all prepared for what we are going through right now, to be honest, right? I'm sure all of you will be agreeing with me. We were completely not prepared when we all heard what the prime minister said on one of the days on the TV for the first time. The whole nation was shocked, right? It was completely an unplanned say experience, unplanned event what we are going through, and we definitely never wanted to go through this right now, right?
Yeah.
What we are right now doing is we were adapting ourselves the best possible way. I'm sure certain students are not yet equipped fully, because if you want to get the statistics right, though we are living the um, say all the cities and urban part of the country away. If you take the rest of the country, less than 10% of children do have only the access to internet or smartphones or online access, everything, right? So luckily, most of the students belonging to few of the schools have larger access to the internet. And as I said, we have just speeded up the whole digital journey by about 5 years, though we are not really prepared for it, right? We are not like, oh, whether every child is having the connection, whether every child will be able to understand whatever has been told online, all those things suddenly has happened. So if you go ahead, check, we may not have much of choice right now. Whatever best possible way, we are adapting to this situation, right? So I'm sure, and only one thing what I believe very true is, when you take students, one of the greatest advantage what they have is they are born into the digital world, like unlike most of us, right? When most of us were born, it was not that the internet was there, there were smartphones everywhere, so that was not the case. But today, if you take a child, when they were born, they were connected with all these devices. So relatively, their capability to adapt and understand, consume content online will be far higher than whatever we think. So that way, they have that digital advantage, which most of the people may not have. The kids of today, what we typically, the students who are in the schools today, they have that digital advantage, which most of the other people who are out of the school, they may not have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Some of the teacher would like to ask for something. Kindly unmute, then you ask for your question actually, so that we will be able to hear you. Whoever wanted to ask, kindly unmute yours, then you ask the question actually. Yeah, Gajalakshmi ma'am.
Yeah, you can also go ahead post it in the chat. That's also fine if you're finding it difficult to unmute, or if you're looking for back to unmute. Say you can just post it on the chat window, so I can take up questions from that directly. That's not an issue.
Anybody wanted to? I mean, like, the chat window is there. Whether you can post a question or you can ask directly. Okay.
Yeah, Lakshmi. Any more questions to be
Okay.
taken?
As of now, there's no more questions actually. Sujata ma'am, can we, ma'am, you're there, ma'am? Can
Yes,
we,
sir.
yeah, can
Yes,
we,
yes, sir.
yeah, anything else, or shall we call this as a
Just
session of
I want to ask one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Just we teachers a few months back, we instructed students not to use mobiles and chat. Don't use the technology more, and stop one day fully. Don't switch on your computers. So actually, we are after this situation. These two contradictory ways we have to face with the children. So just confirm
Very
how
true, ma'am.
to.
I mean, this is something a lot of teachers go through this challenge right now, because whatever we have been insisting, I mean, it's not only teachers, it's also the same concern for parents too, right? Whatever you are insisting your children till now, or never use the phone, don't spend
Yeah.
too much time on your
Yes.
say laptops or whatever,
Yeah.
all other tabs and other things. And
Yeah,
today,
nowadays we are only sitting most of the time in front of computers
very
and
true,
use.
very true. And I mean, as I was telling, only one thing what uh, we were expecting was, we all know this is a change which will definitely happen, right?
Yes.
It's maybe the expectation was maybe 5 to 10 years from now, because as I said, we need to know there is a lot of difference between how we see things and how children see things, right? So children, as I said, the moment they were born, today and a born child, like you can see a 1 year old, 2 year old can knows how to touch, or how to touch a phone and do certain activities on the phone, right? They get
Yes.
excited
Yes.
on seeing a phone. So
Yeah.
the touch phone is something, a way of life for them, right? So
Yes.
the way today's children see these devices are completely different from the way we have seen it. So only one thing what we thought will happen is, over a period of time, I will personally, I will say about 5 to 10 years from now is what this digital transformation should have happened. But these kind of events is picking up rapidly. Today, the kind of sessions, kind of learnings which are happening, kind of meetings which are happening online is phenomenally higher compared to whatever we possibly can even dream of. So these events actually have speeded up this journey, what we call it as a digital journey. And we just have to, as I said, have to accept it, adapt it, and there has to be definitely a balance. One of the biggest challenges in the future, which as parents, as teachers, everyone must have to handle, is how to ensure students use this usefully. I mean,
Yeah.
predominantly for
Exactly.
learning, rather than say other ways, because
Yes.
this is a device where they can get distracted very easily,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because you have everything at one go.
Yeah.
So that is going to be an ongoing challenge, both for parents and also for teachers. But maybe the mindset change must have to be, it is a learning device rather than
Yeah.
a playing device.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much, sir.
right.
And teachers, I would like to two teachers to give the feedback, ma. Suhasini ma'am. Suhasini ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Jai Gurudev. Yes, ma'am.
Jai
Very
Gurudev.
well.
Yes.
Okay. What I would like to say is,
I thank Mr. Vidyashankar Guru for this session. It's really wonderful. I was just thinking like what you would start with because all these years we used to have one complete day as a OSLA session, and we enjoyed it. Like the entire thing would go on so systematically, and at the end we will be asked to dance to the music which you generally used to play. So I was just wondering how it is going to go. But I'm really very happy that the session went on so well, and the opening of the session was too good, sir. I should say. You mentioned about Mr. Robert Merton, and you said that tough times never last, but tough people do. This thing really, it's very nice. I liked it so much. And you also mentioned about the choices which we should make, like three choices which we are supposed to make. And moreover, you also asked us to relook at the belief which we have and the elephant story and so many things you have discussed. Really, it is so wonderful. And I enjoyed the session so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So any other teacher want to give any feedback?
Jai Gurudev, sir.
Yes, Sandhya ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Jai Gurudev.
Sir, you said
Yes, ma'am.
confusion
Jai
is
Gurudev,
not
ma'am.
bad.
Vanakkam.
Confusion is not bad. That is good. Good. You are learning something.
Yeah.
You are learning something. You said, sir, confusion
Something
is.
new.
If we are teaching the lesson, the students are listening and they are standing and they are asking some questions. We are asking some questions. They are telling answers. Remaining friends are there. They'll think the students are telling if I am telling wrong or right. If I am telling wrong means my students will my friends will kindle like that. How we have to express?
Yeah. Okay. I will just rephrase the question a bit. I mean, what teacher was asking was, say, when a student stands up and asking a question, and if it is not right.
Yes, if they are telling answer means remaining friends are there. Definitely, if I am telling wrong or right, if I am telling wrong means what the madam will tell. How we have to handle the students.
Oh, okay. Fine. I mean, as you know, I mean, I have to be aware that I'm talking to teachers because you know this better because it's your support and encouragement. Because whenever what makes students hesitate a lot to get up is actually this, right? When they are little humiliated, when somebody laughs at them, that's what uh, uh, stops them from getting up the next time. And most interestingly, as I said, for 0 to 7 is an imprinting age. Say, for example, a child is standing up in the class, and then the entire class laughs for something that remains with that child forever in life, right? So, as a teacher, uh, possibly how you can support a child is predominantly this: it is okay to commit a mistake, right? Say, for example, you are asking a question, and if the answer is wrong, if as a teacher, if you say it is fine, you learn it and tell me the right one later, that encourages a student. That tells the student it is okay to tell something which is not right. I can always correct it later. The moment if that is stopped, other students laugh at it, then that becomes the biggest challenge, because that's when, say, a very expressive student who is at a very young age, who is like very expressive, slowly becomes too shy because of that, right? Whenever they want to express something, when everybody says, oh, you can't, oh, they laugh at them, then they slowly stop it, then we create a shy child, right? So that's what typically a Pygmalion is. What you expect is what you actually create. So it is to convey as a teacher to the class that it is okay to say something which is not correct, right? Till the time the intention of the child is not right. I'm just adding up to it. Till the time the intention of the child is fine, it is okay to tell something which is not right.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Thank
this
you.
is Subbalakshmi sir. You
Yes,
said about the choice and all. It's very good. The most attractive part is the thankfulness. So
right.
everyone must need this. And then you said about the time to relook about our lives and everything. So once we have some expectation, if we met with some failure, so how to tackle those situation? If we have some expectation, even if we are going through that achieve that expectation, right, we are working on that. So if
Right.
after that also, if you met with any failure, how to tackle that situation?
Okay. Say, what you asked is a common thing for each and every human being, right? Every human being in this globe had expectations. Every one of them have faced failures. You show me one person in this world who has not had an expectation, who has never failed, right? Because I remember a quote, because I'm not getting the exact words. I may paraphrase it, right? So quote goes like this: only one person who has no expectations in life is actually a person who is no more existing in this world. I mean, actually, what I mean is the person who is no more alive, right? That is how the quote goes. So all of us do have certain expectations. All of us have faced failures. So predominantly, the difference is all how we handle it, right? So if we have accepted something as a failure and then we are going through a lot of emotions which are not useful, maybe this is the time you can relook that, because we always say this: there are no failures, only feedback, right? So is it a time for you to get a feedback, learn something out of it, and move on, or redefine certain things in your life? Because as I say, there are two ways you can look at this time in your life, because you will never get this time again, or you've never got this kind of time, right, where you have, I know you, all of you are doing something, you're still doing a lot of work at home, right? I mean, I heard some people telling, oh, actually my work at home has doubled because of staying at home, right? I've started doing more work cleaning up the home, and I don't have my helpers at home, all those things. So I know all those things are happening, but still you can plan your day far, far differently, right? So it is a time to rethink. It is a time to redefine. It is a time to redefine a lot of meanings in your life. Relook a lot of relationships in your life. Relook failures, what you had in your life. Recheck, is it really a failure, or can I learn something from it? Right? So it is a great opportunity what you have in your hand. So utilize this particular phase of your life uh, to redirect, move in different direction, rethink differently, think different, think in a useful way. All those things are possible at this point of time.
So one more question. Sorry to disturb you. So the confusion, when you are in confusion, that means your mind is learning something. I need some explanation for that, because we are in confusion already. Then
Right.
how we will learn a new thing? Because we don't have that knowledge to take a good decisions during a time of confusion. No, we will
Exactly.
be already, we are in confused state.
Right, right.
So then how we will learn something new?
Right, ma'am. See, we even tell this to students, because when it comes to learning, confusion is always looked at something very, very bad, right? So when a student comes up to say, "Oh, I'm confused," we look at like, right? It's not something good. But when a child can possibly confuse is when they learn, they can get confused. Say, assume when they are going to take an exam, they cannot get confused. They need to be very clear on what they are writing. So when you are learning, there will be a process of confusion which happens in the mind. Maybe the word is you are not able to connect it. Why? Because it is also a belief part. So we used to hate confusion, right? We used to hate like, oh, I don't want to get confused. But you check this. Whenever you are put in a new situation, see, assume you have never traveled abroad. Assume this, right? Assume, right? I'm just taking it as an example. And then you need to start alone from home, and then you need to go to the airport. You need to take some 3 flights and reach the other destination, how it will look, right? There will be like a lot of, I mean, should I have to go here? Is this the right way? Because till the time you are in India, your mindset is different. You land up in a different country, there is a different kind of emotion comes up, right? There are a lot of new kind of fears which comes up. Am I doing the right thing? Is people are watching me? Should I have to go and stand in this counter? And that is the first time. But though there is a confusion, you are learning something new, right? You have learned a new thing. Assume you have done the same thing some 10 times. You have gone through the same path 10 times. Will there be a confusion? Not exactly. Just you know what to do. Only thing is, you are not learning anything new. Whenever you take up anything new, you go through some confusion. Right now, what we are going through as a event is a completely new situation. I mean, right from the government, there is a confusion. That's why if you say um, there is an extension of whatever, say, it's called as a lockdown, whatever they are going through, it comes at the last moment. Why? One, there can be a panic around, and number two, they want to get some more clarity on how things are going to pan out, right? So it is a lot of new learnings. I mean, we all of us are learning a lot of new things right now, right? I mean, how to be at home is the biggest learning for all of us. Can we be at home, first of all, for such a long time? And many of us are learning whether our children can stay at home. Yeah, all those things are new learnings for each and every one of us. So, just to conclude, it is to make this experience useful, right?
Yes, sir.
Because if we
So,
get scared of confusion, so we cannot make this experience very useful. So, how to make this experience really useful for us, really meaningful for us?
Sir, this is Malini.
Yeah.
Sir, is it audible?
Yeah, ma'am. Go
Yes.
ahead, ma'am.
Sir, actually, as ma'am said, Sujata ma'am said that we are getting into the gadgets. The students now they are using only the gadgets. Once they get back to the school, it will be very tough for all of us to handle the students. Can you please give some suggestion how to handle the students?
I mean,
it will be very helpful for all of us.
the hard truth is going to be, we may have, I mean, we are going to get into a new normal, right? If you notice everywhere, you may be hearing this word called as new normal, right? There is a permanent change in the way the life will be. So we need to first accept that, right? Whatever we were doing till, say, end of February 2020, is going to change, has changed, right? So as human beings, we have always come up to situations. We have always, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of science teachers, so I need to be very watchful in what I talk. There is a Darwin theory which says that, right? So we have always adapted ourselves, we have always changed ourselves, right? So over a period of time, definitely we will have the capability to adapt, change ourselves to the new normal. So I want you to accept the new normal. There is a new normal which is going to come up. So if you think we will be completely away from all these digital ways of learning, so it may be to some extent unlikely. It is going to be little blended, right? It may be a mix of both, right? And assuming assume we are back to normal, right? Still, maybe there may be need for us to use digital devices for learning, because that provides different kind of. I mean, think of a day where we will never have a phone for the whole day. It's going to be like that. So we can't dream of that. Similar to that, education is a space which will be transformed. Can you think of a day without a motor-driven vehicle today? Maybe it's the same like that. right? Maybe 100 years back, when there were only vehicles without motors, it's possible, but today it's not possible, right? So all are motor-driven vehicles. This way of life. So similar to that, some point of time we need to get into the new normal, which is going to be the hybrid model, right? And teachers are going to be very, very critical in a student's life, but um, teachers are the one who will teach kids how to use technology in the useful way, right? I mean, it's not that you have to be an expert in technology, but you need to use technology in learning and teaching.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
sir, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You clarified all our teachers' doubts. And
Right.
as you said, event is not always equal to outcome. Event has already occurred, right?
Exactly.
So we assure you that we give positive response to get the positive outcome, sir, with your motivational speech.
Amazing feedback, ma'am. Actually, this
Thanks
cannot be better feedback. That
thanks all the teachers. Thanks we thank the management.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Right, we thank senior principal Uma ma'am. Thanks Sujata ma'am.
So thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome.
Thanks for this opportunity to address all the teachers. Thanks all the teachers.
Thank you,
once
sir.
again, thank you from our side. Only
Thank
to the
you,
side
sir.
though.
Thank you, Lakshmi Narayan, sir, to arrange this.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
Thank
you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful talk.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
For the wonderful speech,
Your
sir.
informative session, sir. Thank you so much,
sir.
sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
நம்ம தேங்க்ஸ் சொல்றது இவ்வளவு கேட்காதா
கேக்குது மேடம் நீங்க சொல்றது கேக்குது.
பத்தியா மெசேஜ் அனுப்புறாங்களா அதுல எப்படி அனுப்புறது வருது எவ்ரி ஒன்னு போட்டுருக்கு
எல்லாருக்குமே அங்க வருதுல அந்த மாதிரி எவ்ரி ஒன்னே இருக்கு
ಅಂತ ಬೇಸನ್ போತೀರಾ